right, peace and love, everybody.
Peace and love. All right, well, let's go. Let's get started, Lisa. So I am Michael G. Davis. I'm the broker CEO of Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. And, you know, one of the things that we're really pushing in 2021 is making sure that we have at least 2 to 3 events at our coaching and training centers. We want to really beef up our training. So we sat down and we worked through, you know, the first quarter of the year as far as events and things like that. And I think we've started off very, very well, executing on a lot of things that we had planned. Don't you think, Lisa?
Indeed, really yes. Well. January has been a wonderful month already.
Absolutely, of events and things. So we're very excited. So and February is going to be great as well, right? We got a lot of stuff coming in February too, so be on the lookout. But today we want to spend time just really going through and talking about open houses. We've gotten a lot of interest from people as it relates to open houses and using it as a way to generate leads and bring in business opportunity. So that's what today's training is going to be about. And it's going to be spearheaded by our head of mentorship, Miss Lisa Vaughn. She's going to really be giving us some great insights as it relates to that. That's it.
Where am I looking at, y'all? This is my first live, so be patient with me, be gentle.
Look in that direction.
Looking over here? Mm-hmm. Okay, nothing up here, huh? Okay.
Don't look over there.
Okay, got it. All right, how y'all doing? I'm Lisa Vaughn. Yes, I am a head of mentorship and recruiting for Brooks & Davis. That's my passion, is to always help and service. And so when I came over here, that's what I asked Michael to do.
And I let her.
And he led me, and now he's pushing me to do live. So y'all be patient with me. I'd rather have a candlelight setting with the lights dim, and
we're gonna have that next time.
And then we can talk on a one-on-one level is what I prefer, but we're gonna try to do this.
So when we do that, Lisa, that's gonna bring the people into the building. See,
exactly. I like to interact. You know, all my mentees know I want to meet in person. I ask them all the time, let's meet in person. And trust me, y'all, that's nothing I like to do. It's just what I want to do so I can service.
Absolutely.
All right, so with open houses, y'all, we're gonna talk about that briefly. It's definitely, open houses are you can do 10,000 different things for an open house. So you definitely can tailor it to what you prefer and what works for you, trial and error, and what works for you would be best. The first thing we want to talk about is the purpose of an open house.
Okay.
Why are you doing an open house? What are you hoping to achieve? Most people think that open houses are just to show a house, and it's really a lot more to that as an agent that you can benefit from doing an open house. So one of the things you want to do, the purpose of it is definitely to, of course, sell the property. That's the whole point. Get other buyers, for that property, or possibly just a lead for an additional property. And definitely to also, you can utilize the social media aspect of an open house. So meaning that you can post content from the open house that actually helps you gain other leads, gain other clients, and it's just simple content for your Facebook page. Let them know you're a realtor. That's the biggest thing you want to do naturally, is just let everybody know what you do naturally as a realtor in your everyday life.
No, I think that's a great point to touch upon, is utilizing that open house and leveraging that event as a way to really expand your awareness to your sphere of influence. It's kind of what Lisa is saying. A lot of times we hear people saying, oh, I need to do better on social media. I need stuff to post on social media, or I need things to engage. Where having a consistent flow of open houses will give you that thing that you can constantly promote and put out to where it shows that you're doing the activity of real estate and the activity of a realtor. That really helps cement you in the mind of people. So I think that was definitely a great way to utilize open houses. And we know there are people out here doing open houses and they're not taking advantage of it from the social media space, right? They're not, putting it out there, posting it out there. I want to comment on, I think Mark St. Rose just recently did one, and we saw how he was pushing it out there, put it in a private Facebook group, put it in the group me, and began to push it. So that was a great example, right?
Yeah, he did. He asked, he put it in our group me, he asked all of his fellow realtors, all of his fellow Brooks & Davis family to promote it. And that's what we have to do. And that's what we do at Brooks & Davis, is we do things as a family. So you have your whole family of how many agents, 50
agents,
50 agents,
27 affiliate members,
supporting your open house, things like that. So that's the first thing you want to do. So once you know that you're actually going to do an open house, let's say we have a week to prepare. Okay, so right now the market is not bearing a week of inventory to last on the market, but for this purpose today, we're gonna say you have a week. So you actually want to start promoting it a week at least a week in advance. If 2 weeks is great, but we'll see if that happens, but definitely a week. So 1 week before the open house, what you want to do is go out and put a sign in the yard that says what day and time you're going to have the open house. That means that everyone that's in that neighborhood is going to pass by. All the neighbors are going to know what's going on. Just any looky-loos, anybody who's possibly just driving around because they like that particular neighborhood will see that you're going to have one.
Yeah.
So that's immediate advertising for the open house.
Absolutely. And we have the little sign that says open Sunday or open Saturday. So it's real easy for you to get that sign, and then say if you're going to do the open house at 11 o'clock, I would actually put the time, the start time. And I wouldn't do the end time. I would just do the start time. And then say if it's 11 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and you just put that hour on the sign, and then you go out there and you put it out there a week before. And like Lisa says, you're prepping the neighborhood to know that you have that open house coming in that neighborhood real soon. My pleasure.
So that's 1 week before the open house. Another thing that you can do, and this is basically all just getting everybody ready and letting them aware that you're going to be in this neighborhood. You're going to be selling this property, showing this property, and you want to create a lot of buzz as much as you can. So possibly 1 day before the open house or even hours before the open house, you can go around to the different businesses in the neighborhood.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, businesses, stores.
I would do it a couple of days, 2 or 3 days before the open house. Go out and if you got flyers, pass out flyers, make the area aware that this is what you're going to be doing. And it's also an opportunity for you to make the area aware that you have this property for sale.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And it's going to show you are a proactive realtor. You are out here working. Mm-hmm. So that's basically you want to show that show your client you're working, show the neighborhood you're working, because you're always working on generating leads. That's basically what you're doing at that point too. So that's 1 to 2 days before the open house. Mm-hmm. So once the day of the open house, so we here day of the open house.
But you know what? Before we get there though, mm-hmm. I mean, in addition to letting the neighbors and the schools and things like that know, you also want to let the neighbors know, right? So you want to go knock on some doors. You want to pass out some flyers, because what many people don't realize with open houses, a lot of times the open house is an interview for somebody that's considering selling their own house. So, they'll come by to see like how you're marketing or how you're promoting this other house as a way to determine if they might want to use you to sell their house as well. So that's something else that you definitely want to keep in mind, and why you want to let as many of the neighbors know as possible what you're doing. And they're going to come by. Some people, some realtors out there, they don't like when the neighbors come. Like they're these nosy neighbors coming to my open house. They only want buyers. And that's because they're not looking at the big picture of it all. You do want the neighbors to come see, how you handle marketing and selling a house because many of them are, they're not looking at where they live now as their permanent residence. So at some point, they're going to be looking to sell their property, and you want them to consider you. Yeah.
So I've had people show up to my open house that are potential people who want to sell their property soon, and they'll come in and say that they scheduled to go to 3 or 4 open houses that day, and they want to compare the marketing strategies and the things that they see in the open house. They check your social media to see how you market at the open house. So I've actually had people come and especially just say that I wanted to see how everyone today was managing the open houses in this neighborhood, and they were just coming to see.
Absolutely. And you really want it to be an event. I don't know, Lisa, you ever looked at $1 Million Listing?
Of course.
All right, so you know how to, and if you haven't looked at $1 Million Listing, then I highly encourage you to maybe take a look at it in a couple of episodes. And I know it was Hollywood, right? It was a TV show, but the concept of how they made their open houses an event, how they created such an event to where it became very attractive, to where they brought in a lot of awareness. Not saying that you're going to spend tens of thousands of dollars on these events, because, obviously they were selling multi-million-dollar houses. But once you determine your budget, try to maximize as best as you can as it relates to the ambiance or the event of the open house, instead of it just being I come, open the door, and you come in here and look at it if you want to.
Yeah, yeah, $1 million list, and they do go over the top, but you can go over the top as well in your own budget. Okay, right. So these are the things that you prepare before you even get to the open house date. These are the things that you can start to prepare for, and these are free things. I mean, these are absolutely free. So the day of the
I
open
like the
house,
way you put that, though. The way that you said that you can go over the top within whatever your budget is, right? You just got to be creative. You got to be smart, and you got to go into it with the mind frame of, I'm going to maximize what I can get out of these pennies that I'm trying to spend to really give off the ambiance that I'm trying to give off. Let me get my phone, Jess.
Yeah. And so one of the things that some of the people were doing were actually that I've seen in my neighborhood, I always find a letter on the door that an agent is pretty much a short little bio, and then it's some information about the property. And I found that to be a very good marketing tool as well. Just to go and put a letter on the neighbor's doors, a few blocks away from the house, you could just walk the neighborhood, a little exercise, and put the open house through a letter as well on the door.
Absolutely.
All right. So the day of the open house. So what you have is what they said, 20 signs.
Man, we put out 30.
What y'all put? 20, 30 signs? How many you put? T is in the house.
What up, right. T? Say what's up to the people. They over there.
They over
Say
there.
What's up? Wave up.
All right.
Like, what's happening?
She ain't playing. She here for the training.
So here's the thing about the signs, right? The more directional signs that you put out, the more traffic you're gonna have at the open house. But what you have to take into consideration is that, number one, it takes time to put them signs out, and then it takes time to go pick them signs up. But again, the more signs you put out, the more traction you're gonna have. What we started doing was that instead of just putting open house sign and putting the arrow, we started putting the address of the property on the open house signs. So not only, so now you may get somebody that's not able to actually attend the open house, but they know that this particular address is for sale, and they can go back and maybe look it up online, something like that. So again, it gives some additional awareness to what you're doing in the neighborhood. So yeah, like I said, the more signs, we're not gonna say a number, right? You put out as many as you want to put out, but the more signs you put out, the more traffic you're gonna get. It's a direct correlation to it.
Definitely.
And like I said, we were putting out about 30 of them, but then some people, they put out 5, they put out 10, and your traffic's gonna reflect that.
So I basically put out how many I can remember where they at. I take pictures of the sign to make sure I can go back and get the signs.
Yes.
If you have the generic signs, you might go back and the sign not there. So put as many as you need. Mm-hmm. But what you want to do is put them in key points.
Absolutely.
Be strategic about where you place them. So maybe it's not the amount of signs, it's actually being strategic as well.
I mean, both.
Okay. I say both. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, just being strategic on where you place the signs.
And when we say strategic, for example, like on a 4-way stop, you might want to put a couple of them over there because you're going to have a high traffic kind of going through that light. You want to go to like the main corridor. The way that when we were doing it is that we would try to identify like a square, right? Mm-hmm. So try to find the most active corner on the northwest, the most active corner on the northeast, the most active corner on the southeast, southwest, and try to build a perimeter around the property. And then that's how we would lay the signs out within that perimeter. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the engineer. So everybody gonna have their own way of doing stuff.
Strategic. Lisa said
that was strategic. That was engineering strategic right there. Look. So yeah, that's great. Great. Just getting the whole perimeter set up so everybody know you out there doing your open house. Mm-hmm. So we have the generic signs. You can get custom made signs that say your name and number, that says open house, your name and your number. So even if they get lost, they can call you.
That's good. Yeah.
So that's what I have on my signs is a phone number, because I want you to make it to me today.
Right.
Even if you don't make it to me today, I want you to have my information at some point. You can call me about anything you need.
Absolutely.
So,
helium balloons.
Yeah,
Helium
yeah,
balloons on the
yeah.
signs.
We about to get, yeah.
Oh, we
That's
about to get
no,
there?
not to get, no, that's what I was gonna go to. But
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't say on each sign though. Normally I just put it on the house. So you say put it on,
I put on
mhm,
each sign, and the reason I'm saying that is because you want people are driving, right? You know,
mhm,
when we're driving our cars, we're tunnel vision, so you want to have
sure.
something that's going to spark their attention. So having the sign here, it can kind of blend in into the environment. But that helium balloon, that balloon moving, is going to attract people to start looking to see what that is over there. And even if for a split second, that's what you want to do.
Sure.
Because if you can't capture that attention with that sign, you may very well miss somebody that would come to your open house. It was just that they overlooked the sign. So you want to make, it as easy as possible to capture people's attentions to the signs.
And y'all, a
Open
balloon will
house
capture
signs.
a kid's attention. And a kid seeing this balloon saying, Mommy, I want a balloon. Then the
Yep.
parent look over there and see your house.
Yep.
Oh, it just leads into so many things. So you never
Absolutely.
know what you can use, what tool you can use, and what's going to attract someone for marketing. So try
Absolutely,
everything.
absolutely. And I think a good idea, man. This is something that I never got to be able to execute upon it. But if you have a relationship with some people that maybe own a food truck or something like that, well, maybe what you could do is have them come and park in the driveway as a way to attract the neighbors in the neighborhood. Maybe offer some kind of incentive or discount or coupon or whatever to the neighbors, and they can come to the food truck as a way to expose the house, the house. Because the reality with open houses, the vehicle was originated when there was no har.com or Zillow, there was no MLS, there wasn't any of that stuff. So you the way for you to see the inside of a house was typically through the open house on the weekend. Well, now it's so easy for people to get on the inside of properties, see the inside of properties, that you have to be more creative of how to drive people or give people a reason to come into the house, come inside of the house. Leave the comforts of their home, leave the comforts of their streaming service to come on, especially in these COVID-19 times. So you're really going to have to be creative on asking yourself, why should somebody come to this house and really incentivize and persuade them to do it. So you got to be a little bit more creative.
Awesome.
What's up, Valerie? Valerie in the building now.
Okay, good. All right. So now we've prepared the outside of the open house uh, gathering. So now we want to go into the inside. So right before, actually, when you have an open house, you want to make sure that you have posted the date and the time in your social media. You want to make sure you've ensured that you have gathered all of your agents, like we said before, that they've posted it. So you want to go ahead and start taking pictures while you're out for your social media, placing the signs, letting everybody to know today this is the activity you have going on. Everything is really big on social media. So this is free marketing. So Mike saying the food truck, he got some good friends. Because I don't know nobody with a food truck that's gonna come out there and do it for free, but you probably can employ a food truck to come out there and they're gonna benefit from it and sell. Huh?
Right.
That's what you're
That's
saying.
the point,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. So
they can sell their product.
That's a good. I didn't ever think about that.
Yeah, and then offer like if they can offer like a coupon or something to the neighbors, like if they come today, then you'll get
snow
this.
cones.
Yeah, something
snow
like that.
cones.
And then that gives you a reason now, instead of you just going to the neighbor's house and just randomly, hey, come to my open house. Like, hey, I'm having an open house, but we're gonna have a food truck there. And on the day of the event, they're gonna be offering 10% off of whatever they're selling. Why don't you guys come by and take advantage of it?
And if they get enough volume, they may not even charge you for you having
Exactly. Yeah. Some people are just looking for places and opportunities to do things now that, with the world kind of shutting everything down.
So they're looking for opportunities.
All right. So once you're actually in the house, so one of the things you want to do is definitely ask your client to declutter. That's the first thing you want to make sure of. So when you arrive there, the house should be nice and clean and presentable. I let my clients know, hey, when we're listing a property, I do ask you to cut the grass every 2 weeks. I mean, this is something to help me out. We're a team. We selling the house together. This is how I approach my client. And it's been very successful in my 5 years of real estate. I meant to tell you y'all that earlier. 5 years, almost 6 years in the real estate. So setting the vibe is what I call it when I get there. I walk around, turn on all the lights, as much natural light, opening up the windows. Some people bring candles. I bring a candle. I ask my clients if the house has some type of the smell, stench, or anything like that, just to get rid of it and cut it all just cut the stench.
Your house stink.
Yeah, just to say, I do a standard, y'all. I just let them know, hey, we're gonna get plugins. I don't if their house smell good or not. I just ask them to get plugins.
And that's smart though. That's very important because the way that buyers buy homes, it's an emotional purchase, right? So, and the way that you tap into someone's emotions is that you got to hit their senses. So it's got to look good. It's got to smell good. It's got to feel good, right? Because that's what's going to determine if they decide to write that contract or not. When you try to approach people from a practical standpoint or a rational standpoint, that's not how buyers buy houses. It's an emotional choice. So you got to tap into that stuff. So what Lisa's talking about is that she's engaging those senses. She's engaging those emotions to increase her chance of that buyer wanting to submit an offer.
All right. Hey, Jess, Maddie's asking, can we send her the Zoom link? Are we still on Zoom?
Tell her to look in the Facebook group.
She says she's on
live.
We're on live, right?
We put it in the private Facebook group then. Yeah, just tell her to check. We just posted it inside. No, the live's not on no more.
Oh, okay, the live's not on?
Yeah, tell her, just text her that we posted it in the private Facebook group.
Oh, okay.
The link information is inside of the private Facebook group.
Okay. So yeah, absolutely, y'all. What we want to do is appeal to their senses. So and we're going somewhere with this. Okay. So when you have someone come in and you set this ambiance, playing some soft music in the background, maybe having a candle, definitely spraying some air freshener at the minimum, if that's, just trying to appeal to their senses. Because what you're trying to do is allow someone to come into the home and picture themselves in it. Mm-hmm. And you don't want anything to distract them from that. If your clients have a pet, or if they possibly have things placed where the potential buyer wouldn't like it there, you want to set them into a comfortable mode so they can start to imagine themselves in this property no matter what's going on around it. So that's the first thing. You want to have your cards there. You actually want to have a sign-in. That's going to be the key to the open house, is having a sign-in, capturing people who come and visit. So when it comes to that, it's a little tricky. Some visitors will have a realtor already. They'll say that to you. What I do, I just let them know, hey, my client is asking for everyone who comes into this property to go ahead and complete a registration.
Period. You got to register.
And that seems to, just blame, like everything, I blame it on Michael. Hey, my broker wants this done. My seller wants this done. Nothing is, I'm just the messenger. I'm just a mediator and messenger. So you can't be attacked by anything you do. So I have them fill that out. That's been very successful, definitely. And what that registry is going to do is later on, it's going to be, you can design it yourself. You can ask them their name, phone number, email, what they're looking for, how soon they're looking to move. Are they working with a realtor? Even if they are working with a realtor, you can still send them. Can you still send them an email? Even if they say they're working with a realtor?
You can send whoever you want to send an email.
Yeah, you can still send them things. So you're still just trying to capture, huh? What's that?
Ain't that right, Valerie?
What's that, Valerie?
Email who you want to email.
That's right. I just want to make sure we're not stepping over no boundaries,
Well, the reality is that you don't want to, you don't want to solicit.
Yeah. That's always a question. We get out of school and we be so nerved up about things that we can do and can't do. I like to be really clear on it's okay to send an email.
Yeah, you gonna mess
up. You are capturing that name. Believe, huh?
I said that's definitely
exactly.
Just figuring out like what's
ask your broker. Ask your broker. Ask your mentor. Yes, ask your mentor. Because we selling properties. We trying to show property. We trying to get business done.
And especially with the registration process, you want to kind of think through, well, what am I going to do with the information that I get through the registration process? So like Lisa said, is it just a matter of being able to let my client know that, hey, we had a certain amount of people show up? Or is it you want to kind of take it to the stream and say, hey, look, I want to use this as an opportunity to feed my database and get more people, plug more people into my database, because that's going to dictate the type of information that you get, right? If you're on social media, and you want to engage them on social media, then you might want to ask for their social media handles. If you want to mail them a thank you card for attending open house, then you know you're gonna need their mailing address. If you want to text them something like so, that's really going to kind of dictate, you know, what all you ask from them. And you know, point of consideration, people have bad handwriting, so you might want to consider a digital registration solution, because the worst thing that can happen. No, you got to wave it
Oh,
now.
I
The
look.
camera's
You
over
got
there.
Hey, man.
The worst thing that can happen is that you have a successful open house, you capture this information, and you get back and you're finna execute on your follow-ups, and you can't understand what none of the phone, you can't understand the phone number, you can't understand what the email address say. Um, so it's kind of you know, it's kind of like a waste of time not being able to follow up with people if that's what your intention was. So you might want to consider some type of digital solution as far as
Definitely,
registration.
definitely. Both ways is wonderful, you know, and just go by, you know, how you feel and what's going on with COVID and things to protect yourself, and always have your sanitizer and your wipes. And that's some of the product things you can bring to the open house that help your client to secure their probably a little fears of people coming in and out their home, and also with the people who are visiting, letting them know you're taking also proper precautions too.
Absolutely. And then because you know, now that as we're talking about registrations and things, it's real easy to get people to give you their contact information when you're offering something like a drawing. Like, hey, we're doing a drawing for you to get in the drawing. That's what you got to do. So you know, again, it's all about incentivizing people to do stuff, right? You got to incentivize people to come to the open house. You got to incentivize people to give you their information. You got to incentivize people. You know, you may want a testimony or something. You may want somebody that comes to the open house to comment on how beautiful the home is, and then maybe you could post that on your social media as a way to attract more people. Well, then you'd have to incentivize them to want to do that for you. So you know, with open houses, man, you can be very, very creative on how to really leverage them as a tool to help you not only sell the property but help you build your business.
You just lit a light.
Did I?
Yes, you did. So look, y'all, tag, like, and share at my open house. So
Absolutely.
you can, you know, you could do that, and then that way when they tag you, you had a name. You now
Right.
you done, you know, connected with them on social media. So
That's right.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
full
but
of them.
it's I know we know. And so yeah, sometimes I even offer a bottle of water. I'm like, you can have a bottle of water if you fill out my registration. It's just all up to you, but you know, you just have to present that correctly.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So now that we're in the open house, we conducting the open house, we have our first visitor, right? They come in, and what do you do? What do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah, what do you
I
do?
just let them go look at the house.
Exactly, y'all. This is not, you know,
Say it ain't
Vanna
rocket
White. I don't
science,
know if I'm dating myself right now, but look.
You give them the grand tour.
Yeah,
you get
let me tell you, because y'all will see people will get annoyed. They get annoyed.
Yeah.
They do get
They
annoyed.
just want to look at it.
And you kind of just take it away where they can actually just feel themselves in the property with you being overbearing like that. So what I do is I allow them, I mean, because we do have to protect our clients' possessions as well, but we have already asked our client to declutter and remove all valuables, remove all things that look enticing to anyone,
right?
Whatever it is, or anything that you feel that that could possibly walk away. Okay. So once you've done that and they're in the house, you're fine with letting them walk around. But what I do personally is I let them walk around, but I'm also somewhere near. And sometimes I'll walk in a room after them. If they go into a master bedroom and they're already in a master bath, I'll walk in after as I'm wild. That I first just saw the property and it's beautiful. And then I ask a question. And then once I ask that question, I kind of pop out, I leave again. I don't stay over them, but I'll come in and engage. You want to stay engaging.
But you want them to be comfortable.
You want them comfortable and engaged.
We spoke about that earlier. You know, to increase your chances of them putting in an offer. If they come in the open house and you make them feel uncomfortable, they're not putting in an offer. Period. And they're not going to do. And if they're not working with a realtor, they're not going to work with you. So you want to be very conscious of how people are feeling and be intentional about the atmosphere and the ambiance that you create for people.
Correct. Yeah, because you definitely, you know, real estate, we are body temperature gaugers. And so, you know, as you're presenting something to someone, you definitely want to watch if what you're saying is something they're nodding their head to, or they're being engaging, or if they're wanting to just walk around the house and you have to allow them to have their space, and then you meet them, in different points of the house, and you decide where those points are. I always point out bathrooms. That's important. I point out the master bedroom. I try to stay engaged and find out if they have kids. If there are kids, I tell the kids, go find your bedroom. Go tell your parents which bedroom you want. Because that's the whole reason for doing that is, one, you got the kid occupied.
Right.
And so you can talk to the parents, and also the parents can also go in there and engage with the kid and see, oh, well, you like this room? And then they start, picturing themselves in that home.
Matter of fact, I mean, you gave me a light bulb. One thing that you might want to consider, if you are maybe in a neighborhood where there's going to be a lot of children, for you to have things for the children to do, right? So maybe you just have like a little kids corner or something. Maybe they can color, they can draw, they can have things they can play with as a way, again, to occupy the children, which frees up the parent to really explore and experience the home. Again, increases the chance of them putting an offer on it, number one. And then number two, kids are very powerful. You take care of somebody's kids, man, it makes them see you in a different light, and it increases your chance of wanting to do business with you.
Very true. It's all about engagement, your personality, and just being natural.
Yeah, go ahead, Val. Share, Val.
I know how to, but I kind of like put them away because it's not really for the adults. But if I see kids, I'm immediately engaged with the kids. I'm like, is it okay if I give them a snack?
Yeah.
I thought you saying hide like you do an Easter egg hunt.
Nah,
you let the kids go do an Easter egg hunt in the house. That's a good thing.
I'm not feeding them.
I might try it.
But if they bring babies, I'm like, oh, can I give them, a snack?
Yeah.
I always ask the parents first.
Yeah, and that goes a long way.
It do go a long way.
And they start engaging with you, and kind of you can feel them lighten up, huh? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because if my kid like you, then I start liking you.
Exactly, because kids tell the truth.
Yeah,
I'm tell you, kids will make their parents. They'll entice them in ways, because I'm dealing with that now with a client I'm working with. Her daughter kind of sets the tone for her, and I'll be like, hey, girl, come on, let me show you this room. Look at this window. Like, could you sit here and play dolls? And she just like, that sold out.
Yeah.
Like,
see? Improvise, huh?
Yep.
So we got to improvise sometimes.
You got to use them kids. You got to use them children.
Indeed. All right. So, look, I keep forgetting I'm the facilitator, huh? All right. So the next thing, what else we talking about? Once they in the house and they looking around,
right.
Let me talk about some scenarios, I guess, that I had that some of the newer agents, because what I had an open house that I had one of the agents help me with, just to kind of as a mentor. I let him come with me on the open house, and she did very good. But one of the things that we had to look at is that I think everyone who showed up said they had a realtor or came with a realtor. And so at that point, you allow their realtor to show in the house. If they show up with a realtor, that's no longer anything you can do with that person other than smile and make sure that everything you've done for that open house is wonderful, because you never know if they're happy with their realtor or not. Okay,
that's true.
So you leave your car sitting out. You leave every information that they may need to slide and pick up real quick and find, and come and call you later on and say, I love the way you did X, Y, and Z. I'm about to dump my realtor and come to you. Hey, you always working for
wishful thinking. Huh?
Exactly.
But just to kind of piggyback on what Lisa's saying as it relates to the realtor being there, again, you want to do what you can to sell the property as well. So if their realtor is there, then you're really in a strong position to possibly get an offer that night, because the decision makers are there. So you may want to let the clients kind of roam, but while they're looking, you may want to try to get up next to that realtor and kind of get an idea of like, what are their needs, what are they looking for, what have they seen already, to just try to get you some information that can maybe kind of hedge your bet on being able to sell them on buying your house. So I would kind of use that as an opportunity to take advantage of getting up next to the realtor and seeing if you can get some information out of them as it relates to what their clients' needs or wants are.
For sure. I've had several verbal offers on the spot, just speaking with their realtor. So that's a great point. Just allowing them to walk around the house and connecting with their realtor.
Absolutely. So now here's another one of those things, because you'll have that realtor that comes in and that wants to give them the grand tour, right? But since you're trying to you know, you're trying to be the one to kind of control the ambiance and how everything's laid out. You may need to think of a way to incentivize that realtor to come over there with you, so you can have that conversation with them, so that realtor does get comfortable going and allowing the clients to watch, you know, go view the property on their own if that wasn't what their original intent was when they walked in the home. And a way to do that is maybe you can have the realtor register them and say, hey, look, you know, while your client's going look at the home, why don't you go over here and register them here in my registration? And then that's a way to pull the realtor away, so you can have that conversation to kind of speak to them and assess the needs of the client and things like that.
Yeah, good idea. Okay. So, something else, what else? If we got any questions, anybody out here got any questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is very interactive. So if you're on Zoom, you unmute yourself, we can hear you just like you guys can hear us. So if you have any, any comments, any questions as it relates to open houses, things that you've seen work, or things that you've been thinking about trying and you just kind of want to run it by us, or if you have some open house stories of, you know, things that worked out or things that didn't quite work out, that we can give you some expertise on. I
have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Shadra.
I'm sorry. I have a question about the last thing you guys were just talking about. So my last open house, I had two groups of people that showed up with their agent. One of the agents, when she came in with the group of folks, you know, I did the whole, I asked the agent if she would go ahead and register her clients. Now she registered her name, which is fine, because I wasn't sure if I should even ask her to do that or not. So I felt like at first I was kind of, kind of out of the box by asking her that, but you know, she was really sweet and really nice. The second one that came, I asked her, I was like, you just register your clients. And she was like, no, we're okay. And normally, as a rule of thumb, I try not to let anybody in the open house that doesn't register, just for safety reasons, is what I was told. But I still went on and let them in and walk through. But also the agent came to me, and she was a veteran agent, had been around for a while. But she came to me and was asking me a lot of questions. Now, granted, it wasn't my listing, and so a lot of the questions I didn't know. But I guess I figured, as an agent, we should be able to find it out for our clients. But she was coming to me, asking me,
everybody meet you there.
What's the tax rate and what's
this?
Is
everybody meeting you there?
I didn't really know. So how do you guys address that? Because there was a couple of times I wanted to tell her, it's in the MLS, or, you can ask the listing agent. I know she knew I was new because we had that conversation, but it was like her as well as the clients were there. And she was just kind of drilling me, asking me all these questions about the property. And I had never, maybe I didn't do enough research, but I just didn't know a lot of her questions. So how would you guys address something like that?
Well, some things that you want to take into consideration, some realtors show off for their clients. So she might have just been out there showing off to her clients to try to kind of, because there really is.
This was a realtor asking
this? This the realtor doing this. Yeah. So, because especially if she's a senior agent, she already knows she can go to MLS and get all the information.
Yeah.
And Shadra, you had already told her that you weren't a listing agent, right?
Yes, she was aware, and she knew it was like my 4th month, and that's what I was thinking too. I was like, well, she's just trying to make me look stupid because I didn't even know,
Yeah, she was just trying to show off.
I should have known.
Yeah, she was more than likely she was just trying to show off to her clients. Now, one takeaway that you might can have is when you do go do your open houses, you might want to consider printing off some of the MLS write-ups. So now.
Yeah, I did. I had them out. I actually tried to give her a packet, and she was like, oh, no, that's okay. I can, well, she said, oh, I have access to it or something like that. She didn't take my packet, but I knew the information was somewhere on there.
Yeah, she was just being, I wouldn't adjust, like I wouldn't use that interaction as a way to say I need to adjust my process. Nah, she was just being a DB.
Well, I definitely would have asked her, do you have heart? Do you have heart?
Douchebag.
I mean, can we ask her that? Huh? Did you say a douchebag?
Yeah, she was being a DB.
I would have asked her, does she have heart? I would have asked her, is on heart. I'm talking about, this is the realtor. So
that's what Shadra was saying.
Oh,
the lady had already told her that she knew that she get access to information. Shadra had information about a packet of information she could have gave. The realtor was saying, I don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need. So, and then she just goes to drilling her. So the lady was just trying to show out in front of her people. You did, girl. You need to stay in here with this open house training, girl. We out here giving nuggets, gems.
That was good.
So Shadra, did that help you?
Yeah, that helped. That helped. I just wasn't, like now. I mean, like I said, for all the open houses I've done, I've always printed out that MLS like full client report, and I have everything attached there. And I figured maybe she didn't want to take it because my business card was stapled to it, but still she could have taken my business card off. But I know now that I didn't. I guess I'm not. It's not required that I know all that stuff for the listing agents that I guess do those for. But it did kind of put me in a spot where like, okay, maybe I need to do a little bit more research about the house and know all this stuff.
No, that was just like he said, they were being a douchebag. We want to make it real clear that if a realtor walks in with their client, they're there with their client.
Yeah.
You can create a engagement with the realtor just so that you can sell the property. But as far as informing a realtor, they have the same information that you have access to. And if they don't, they need to see their broker, or you need to let them know to come to Brooks and Davis.
Absolutely. Girl, you better tell them, Lisa.
That's just it.
Come
That's
get
just
this.
it right there, y'all. It just, I mean, that's
But thank you.
obvious. What's that?
I said, thank y'all for clarifying, and thank you for letting me know what DB meant, because I was literally sitting up here trying to figure out what did DB mean.
You learned nothing else today. You learned what that means today.
Yeah, that's what it means. That's what it means, Shadra. That's what DB means. And that's what she was being. But so and I know you're fairly young in the business, Shadra, but you're gonna realize that there's a lot of realtors out here that they act like that.
They act like that, and then they act like they know and they don't. They don't test the waters. I mean, they'll ask you to fill out paperwork that they know they're supposed to fill out. So you just got to start knowing where your boundaries are.
The biggest thing, biggest thing I want to tell you, especially as a new agent, Shadra, is don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Don't feel like, oh man, like don't let it hit your confidence. Don't let it hit your ego. As senior people in this business, like myself, my expectation is, especially if you tell me that you're brand new, then I already know there are certain things that you're not gonna know, right? So there are some people like myself that are sincere, but then there are some people that will try to take advantage. So just be aware, I guess I would say.
Yeah, like he said, they were just trying to impress their clients. So it just seemed like to me they were trying to, down you to up themselves,
right,
in so many ways.
Yeah.
And so that's what
you are awesome.
Yeah,
you are. Turned it right back around.
She would Val.
Yeah, I would have done it too. I think I would have. Yeah, I would have cut her a little bit. I would have had to go and cut her a little bit. I would have cut her a little bit.
I'd have smiled at her.
T, what you would have did? We got a T is fairly new, so what would you have done?
Honestly, I probably would have did the same thing and just handed her the MLS listing.
Yeah, I'd be like, it's right here.
It's all. I mean, we all have access to the I think that's funny. That's awful. I'm sorry. I don't think it's funny.
I think that's funny. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's funny that she tried you.
Absolutely.
No, that's really awful.
Because what you want to do in your real estate professional career is you want to have certain things that you do habitually. I mean, as a habit. That's just your style of what you do. And so everybody you come up, you experience is going to have a different way to kind of make you think about how you have this planned out. But Shadra, you did the right thing. We all have our ways of doing things, but that's definitely not one realtor, and what she did is not a reason to change anything. Okay, because you're not going to have DB realtors all the time. You're going to actually have realtors that want to come and do real estate.
Yeah. And
they're secure in their knowledge. They understand what you're here for. They can empathize that you are new. They're not going to try to, do anything to affect how you look to their client or themselves. So that was just an unusual situation.
Absolutely. So, okay. So let me do a roll. So Shadra, and then I have Ronielle on here as well. Like, how often do y'all do open houses?
I have done 3. That was the last open house I did. Now I got the most amount of people to come from that open house, but I also went on strike after that because I wasn't discouraged because of her. It was just like, it's just a bunch of things. I just didn't feel like they worked. I hear people saying that they work, but to me, they didn't seem like they worked. And so I kind of went on strike after that. Actually, this week was the first week last week was the first week where I have even asked an agent if I could do an open house with them since November. And I think that either happened like November or the end of October. And so I really haven't done one since then. But yeah, this week I wanted to do one, but the lady said that the clients did not want to do open house because of COVID and they were older. And then I also, another one of the agents in my office this week, I guess, he's kind of solicited out there for somebody that was looking to do it, but I think I kind of offered late. And I'm with a smaller brokerage, so we don't have as many, we don't have as much, I guess, market share, honestly. We don't have a lot of listings. And so there's just not a lot of opportunity for open houses, at least not in the area that I want to serve. So yeah, that I've only done 3, honestly, in my 6, actually I'm going on 7 months right now.
Well, let's dig into that. Let's dig into that a little bit. You know, one of the things that I heard you say was that you don't feel like open houses are effective. So how would you define effective, Shadra?
And let me clear that up. I guess they are effective. They're not effective, I guess, for me. And I know that that's because there's some ways that I need to improve on it. So for example, the Facebook question that you asked earlier, as far as like marketing for our open houses, I don't, even though I've had several agents tell me, you got to door knock, you got to door knock. I'm scared to door knock. I don't want to be walking through somebody's yard, knocking on their door. Now, what I will do is the flyers, but I haven't even done that. Like I'll start the flyers, but there's always just something that happens or whatever, and I just never make it over there. Or like I'm in Stafford and the house that I'm, doing the thing at is all the way out in Spring. I don't want to go out there 3 days before and post it. So it's probably just me kind of being lazy. I do honestly wish I feel like if there were more listings available over in the areas that I want to serve in, I'd be more likely to do it. But we just don't have that. And so I don't know, but I do call around the neighborhood. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, have you considered, not necessarily holding the listings of the people in your brokerage open, but maybe there are some agents that are selling properties with other brokerages, but it's in the area you want to be in? If you reach out to those agents and ask them if you can do open house at their house, had you considered that?
I have considered it. I have also heard different, I've heard some people say that there's a lot of liability involved in that for like the hosting agent as well as for the actual listing broker. And so I have never actually asked the listing agent. I did get a broker recently who services the Sugar Land area, and she actually told me that I could promote and work with any of her listings if I wanted to. I haven't actually done it yet, but if anything, I've kind of looked at boosting her properties, but I haven't actually done what you've said, but I do need to brainstorm on that. So that's a really good idea.
Well, I would really, it's really not much brainstorm you need to do, Shay. You just need to do it. Like if this lady's in the area that you want to market in, and she's already giving you the okay, at that point, it's just a matter of executing it and get it on the calendar and start doing these open houses for her property.
But she didn't actually say I could do open houses. She said I could promote and work with her listing.
And that's how you build. That's how you build. I mean, you're definitely trying to build relationships. So that's one, it's about trust. So like you said, it's possible liability. She really doesn't know you, but once you start promoting her properties and she starts to, because if you have hard platinum, you want to promote properties, okay? Don't promote if you don't have platinum. And hard platinum will allow you to promote their property, and it looks as if you're the listing agent. So all of your contact information is being given to whoever out there that you're promoting it to. So that's the first thing.
When you say promoting it, like putting it on her social media?
Yeah, just posting it on social media that the property's for sale, contact me if you're interested in a showing. Mm-hmm. So that's basically what she's saying that you can do. And at that point, it's a stepping stone. The next thing she will allow you to do is host open house. And I call a lot of different brokerages to host their open houses. Yeah. And they want you to. I mean, they want to sell the property and you want to assist that. And they pretty much
they don't want to do the open house.
Most of them don't, especially real top agents that have 4 or 5 listings. They don't want to do the open house. They prefer that.
So are you calling the listing agent or are you calling the broker and asking?
The listing agent.
Call the listing agent.
The listing agent. Okay.
Yes, the listing agent. Okay.
And there are some that'll be like, oh, that's too much liability, we don't want to do it. But the majority of them are going to be cool with it. You just got to ask them.
Yeah, you just got to, definitely just go around the neighborhood and look at the signs, look at the houses that you want, or even just going on hard and just calling them from there.
Yeah.
And one more question. Can one of you give me an example of like what that conversation sounds like when I make that first call, if they don't know me?
Yeah, absolutely. So you ready? You be the listing broker and I'm gonna be you.
Okay.
Sandra. So ring, you pick the phone up.
This is Shadria.
Hey, Shadria, this is Michael with Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. I noticed you have a property for sale at 123 Main Street.
Yes, that's correct.
Awesome.
How can I help you?
I'm with Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. I'm looking to kind of grow my business. I don't know, do you do open houses, or have you done open houses on that listing?
I have not had a chance to do them yet.
Okay, well, I again, like I said, I'm still looking to build my business. So I have the time to really put in activity to help out. So I would love to maybe host an open house for you for that property and for your client. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. I could say something like that. So yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah, it's that just.
And if they say no, then I have to just respect that anyways. But
Absolutely, and go to the next person. That's
yeah.
Are you all? Most of the time, especially with scripts, it's not really it's not really rocket science. It's just, what are you trying to achieve? What you're trying to achieve is them letting you do the open house. So what do you want to achieve from the conversation? Then finding out, not even them letting you do the open house. That's not what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to achieve who's going to be willing to let you do the open house. Some people will be willing, some people won't be willing. The point of your call is to find that out. So now that you understand what the outcome is that you want, you're just trying to determine of these agents in this neighborhood, which of them will allow me to do an open house in their listing. Now that you understand your outcome, then you just frame your script around trying to achieve that outcome. That makes sense?
Yes, that sounds good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. And as we're talking about scripts, looking at it from that standpoint alleviates a lot of pressure. Right? We put pressure on ourselves, like, man, and so then we freak out when we hear no, right? And because we're freaking out when we hear no, because our expectation is I'm doing this to get the yes. When you're not calling people to get the yes. You're calling people to get informed. You're trying to get informed on something. And that's the same thing when you're calling for sale by owners, or you're calling expires, or you're cold calling whoever. I'm not calling them for sale by owner to get them to let me sell their house. I'm calling them for sale by owner to find out if they will be open to a realtor selling their house, right? And they can say yes, or they can say no. So now that no is not a personal indictment on me as a human being, which is what a lot of us take it as.
Not an indictment.
Yeah, like I'm
crucial word.
They said no, I'm a horrible person. Like that's the connection that we make with no, and that's why we're so afraid to hear the word. We're so afraid of the rejection, and because of that, then we don't do the activities, i.e., make the phone calls, because we don't want to hear the no and we're afraid of the no. So a lot of times we have to reframe our expectations around why we're doing the activity, why we're cold calling, why we're making the call. Again, we're doing it just to get information. And whatever feedback, whatever response they give us, we can't control the response. All we can do is just adapt to whatever response they give us.
Very true. Very true. I'm a basketball coach too. So I look at it like this. You got to practice. I mean, it's not always game time. That's right. You always got to practice. So everything I look at, what I do is just practice. I just call and I just have a casual conversation. Hey, how you doing? It's me. I'm Lisa. I'm interested in selling your house. I see you've had it on the market for a while, because you can go and check FSBOs to see how long they've been attempting to try to sell them. And I want to come and take a look and see how can I give you some feedback? Yeah. Can I offer you my expertise? And so this is our practice, because as I'm doing this, I'm critiquing myself. I'm coming up with my game plan on how to approach. I'm reading the energy of I'm reading the person to see how they respond to certain things that I say. So it's all practice, y'all. You cannot go wrong when you practice.
Absolutely. And then you get comfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of the confidence, a lot of it comes from just being comfortable doing it over and over again, and getting familiar. And it's just kind of pushing past that funny feeling. That funny feeling, especially as a new agent, that funny feeling gonna be with you for a very long time. And you just got to keep pressing past that feeling of not wanting to hear no, not wanting to hear rejection, not wanting to mess up. That feeling's gonna be there for a long time until you really get comfortable. And here's the reality. I've been in it for 16 years and I still make mistakes. You're always gonna make mistakes. Like, you're not ever gonna arrive. You're never gonna be perfect in this business. So we're just here to just be sincere in your desire to help people. As long as you're sincere in your desire to help and to serve, then I promise you everything's gonna work out in your business. You ain't gotta worry about somebody suing you for $1 million. Okay? What?
Don't they sue the broker?
Oh.
Okay, I just want to make it clear, y'all. Look, not you always run things by your broker because you can always, you got to come back to your broker and everything falls on your broker. So
yeah, just want to take care of it.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So what else we have as it relates to open house? And again, if you all have questions, go ahead and throw your questions at us right now.
If anybody's doing open houses, questions specifically about open houses, but one of the things I wanted to piggyback on is once the open house is over, what do you do? You know, where do you go from there?
And before you go there, though, I think Ronielle was going to say something. Ronielle, was you about to say something?
Yeah, I was just saying, I had just learned something new just from this forum. It did irritate me as far as nosy neighbors coming over. I'm like, what do you guys want? You're not going to buy, you're just comparing. But I did learn something new, like, no, let them come over so you can kind of interview them. So, no, I just was, that's pretty much it. I just never liked the nosy neighbors. I just thought they were taking up space when they would come to the open houses.
Yeah, you got to turn your lemons into lemonade.
Right. And they come in to be nosy and they might have a relative that they want to tell about, or a relative that's coming to their house numerous times and say, I love this neighborhood. And say, let them know, hey, a house 4 doors down is on the market. And that's a way that you can sell the property. They may have a relative.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, it's being curious. You want to be curious. And that's another, as I'm talking about that, I think that's what I was trying to say earlier when we were talking about cold calling. The way you should approach it is from a place of curiosity. The place of, like, I think back on my 8-year-old daughter who doesn't have a filter. She's going to ask you if she wants to know something, and she don't need to know who you are. She don't need to know nothing about you. But if she's curious about something, she's going to go over there and she's going to ask you about whatever she's curious about. And I think that's how we have to approach cold calling. And however that person responds to my daughter, she doesn't take it personally. However they answer that question that she asks them, whether it's about their hair or where'd you get that necklace from, or where'd you this or that, however they respond, she just takes it in stride. So when we're cold calling people, we're just trying to be curious. Like, why haven't your house, what happened? Like, explain it. Like, what can be done? Are you open to this or open to that? And just taking on that state of curiosity that our children do. Okay. Go ahead.
And it's definitely layers to that, because so that's what we're talking about in business planning, is knowing what your value is. Because when you are calling someone, or you just speaking with someone and you're engaging with someone, at some point you're going to have to go in and let them know what your value is and what you can bring to the table. So as you talk to them and you probe and you ask, we talking about FSBOs.
FSBO.
Yeah. Is that right?
Calls them that.
Oh, I'm old school. I'm not young. FSBOs. I forgot y'all make an acronym for everything. Okay. So yeah, so when you calling those people and you asking them, and they're probably 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna say FSBO, y'all.
Say it.
Okay, so every one of them I call, they frustrated. Yeah. At some point, they are frustrated. So the first thing you have to do is get that out the way.
Get the wall down.
Get the wall down. Once you get the wall down, you got to be able to talk about yourself and what you're going to do to add value to what they need at this point. So you have to listen to all of that. And don't be annoyed, because you have to proactively listen to what they're saying so you can utilize that to make the sale, to gain the client. So it's all useful information. Everything you do is useful in some way. It's all about how you look at it, and then you take it and you apply it.
Absolutely. There's opportunity there.
Okay.
Good job, Lisa. All right, so now you're going to jump into what to do afterwards.
Yes, afterwards, when you're leaving the open house, you're picking up the signs and you're done. Y'all done?
We done.
Are we done?
After the open house, after you pick the signs?
Oh, okay.
After you picked up the signs, you turned out the lights and locked the door.
You done?
You done?
You done, T?
You done? Everybody out there, y'all
T
done?
like, yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I picked the signs up.
Now it's time to capitalize. Now it's time to turn, what you say, lemons into lemonade?
Turn lemons into lemonade.
All right, good. So what I do personally is I follow up. If my open house was that day, I'm trying to follow up that day, because I want to keep me on your mind. I want to keep the property on your mind. I want to let you know that I am engaging. The biggest things I hear about clients and their realtors is they say, I couldn't contact my realtor, I couldn't get the questions answered, that there was no communication. I'm capitalizing on communication. I'm an over communicator with you. So I sent an email. I sent an email and let them know. I sent a text message. And when they writing down the information, if you have it, if the email address is incorrect, you got to text. You have to text.
Hopefully you understand their phone number.
Right. So if they tagged and shared, then you have their Facebook page. You have their Facebook or Instagram information. So however way you got the information, you capture the information. The next thing to do is thank them for coming to your open house.
Absolutely.
Reiterating, any special features you want to add to the email with the address, any feature that you might have overheard. Some people, when they do the registration, there's a little section in there that you can go back after you've spoken with them, after they've registered, walked around the house, you go back to the registration when they leave and you jot down some key points they might have said. Mm-hmm. It was 3 people, they got 2 dogs, they looking for land, like just different things that can jog your memory on when you get home, you can send the email to let them know, I was listening. Mm-hmm. I heard you. Mm-hmm. I'm ready to do what I need to do to get what you're looking for, because that's your job. Yeah. I like to personalize things. Mm-hmm. So I use a conversation to personalize. Yeah.
So you can stand out because everybody know a realtor. They somebody cousin, sister, mama, uncle, everybody know one, right? But you have to know how to differentiate yourself in your profession because although everybody knows a realtor, there's not a lot, unfortunately, of
good realtors.
So it's not as hard as we think to differentiate ourselves. We just have to be intentional about it. So what Lisa is saying, especially as it relates to that listening piece, again, I think it all goes back to being sincere, like sincerely wanting to serve somebody. Like if I'm a doctor and if I sincerely want to help you, then I have to pay attention to the diagnosis. But if you're telling me what your symptoms are and I'm not really paying attention to it, how am I really going to help you? So as realtors, we're the same way. These people come, they have a need. If they're coming in our open house, they're telling you, hey, we have a need. We're looking to buy a house. If you're talking to a for sale by owner, they're telling you they have a need. They're trying to sell a house. So to really be able to assess what their need is, it's going to take you being very intentional about listening and paying attention and trying to identify the pain points where you can really help them in achieving that. So, obviously there's a lot of people out there, a lot of coaches, a lot of stuff that's being sold, a lot of webinars, a lot of trainings, a lot of all this stuff about scripts and role playing and all this other stuff. The reality is this: if you approach people with a true, sincere desire to help them, and you take the time to really listen to what the problem is, and then you can clearly come up with a way to solve their problem, and you can articulate that to them, then you're going to be successful, whether you're talking to for sale by owners, expires, buyers, or whoever. That's the reality of it. I just don't think it's enough people in our profession that care enough for the customer. But if you approach it that way and you approach with that level of care, then you're going to have a lot of great success in this business if you put the activity in, if you make the phone calls, right? If you go knock on the doors, if you go, engage people on social media, like you got to do the contact. Real estate's a contact sport. And kind of reiterate some things, one of the things that I offered earlier today about the registration is that you might really want to consider figuring out some way to digitally capture the information. Because again, people like, for instance, I write fast. And when I get to writing fast, sometimes I can't understand what I'm writing. So you're going to run across situations like that. And again, if you utilize drawings or some kind of incentive, hey, if you fill this out, you'll get this, then you have a better chance of, influencing somebody to fill out that digital registration. Another thing that I pointed out earlier was about feeding the database. You want to be able to utilize open houses as a way to feed and increase your database. He who has the biggest and the best database wins. So as a realtor, every day you should be focusing on how can I get more and more and more and more people into my database that I can engage on a consistent basis. So open houses is a great way to do that. as a brand new agent, I think you should be doing open houses every weekend. If you ain't got nothing else going on, you ain't doing anything else, every weekend you should be trying to do an open house, because what it's going to force you to do is that it's going to force you to engage, right? And that's what the name of the game is with real estate. Because if you're going to promote the open house, if you don't want to just be going out to that house and sitting there by yourself for 2 hours, bored out of your mind, then you better engage leading that week up so you can make sure that time was well spent instead of just you sitting in there bored. So that's what one of my recommendations would be as far as like doing the open houses as often as possible on the weekends.
Yeah, you definitely want to. I think my goal when I first started was 3 a month,
Mm-hmm.
and just have one weekend. But you definitely want to do that. And and in addition to, like Mike said, you don't want to sit at the open house and be bored. And I also look at the listing agent. I want the listing agent to promote their own open house. And that's important too. And sometimes that'll we in the business to sell properties and promote our business. And so if you call an agent and you really excited that they allow you to do their open house, go check that agent out. Because you also want that agent to have some type of marketing strategy on their own end to assist with that open house or assist with the marketing of that open house. So
good stuff.
Y'all get picky. Get picky. Don't be afraid of the no's and get picky about who you work with. Because one of the things that any agent, I call it the Mean Girls Club when I came into real estate. I'm serious. 6 years ago, they no helpful people. This is why I came to Mike and said I want to be a mentor, because it was the Mean Girls Club. And I thought I was getting broken up with all the time. And I was crying. But then I was like, well, why watch HGTV and everybody happy? Yeah. Everybody drinking and eating and having fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's we do that too. Yeah. We do that too. They just don't show the whole everything else that have to do with real estate.
Right. Right.
We need the behind the scenes of $1 million listings.
Absolutely. And if you're doing enough engagement, that's why I'm going to constantly go back to the engagement and the contact. If you're engaging and you're contacting enough people, like you contacting 100, 200, 300 people a week, then it don't matter. The no's don't matter because you're contacting and you're engaging so many people that the numbers are going to work out for you, period. Right. So I really harp on that. You got to make sure you're doing enough activity in this business if you're going to survive. And open houses is a great way, again, to really force you to do that activity and to force you to engage in the way that you're going to need to engage if you're going to have sustainability and success in this business.
And be gentle on yourself. This is trial and error. You're going to try different things. They're not going to be natural to you. Things that work out for Michael don't work out for me.
And things that work out for Lisa don't work out for me.
Exactly. So you just have to be gentle with yourself and start finding your flow.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think from the formalized training, that's pretty much it. But do you guys have any other questions or any other scenarios y'all want to run by or situations? Even the people in the room?
Anything?
What were y'all hoping? Well, let me ask this question. I'm gonna help y'all out. So when y'all saw the advertisement for the open house training, what was it that you were hoping to receive out of it that prompted you to attend? Now I'm gonna ask everybody this question. So we'll start with T.
She was gonna have to do sit-ups, so I don't know why she might have came because she was struggling with sit-ups or something. I don't know.
A mentor or something else.
No, so really just hearing about some of other people's experiences and what they did, like that's helpful for me, like giving us real world examples of what happens. So that kind of helped me connect the dots on what is it I'm supposed to be doing and how exactly I'm supposed to be engaging.
Gotcha. Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Valerie?
I was looking mainly for more information on ways how to engage.
Like at the open house or like promoting?
To promote the open house.
Okay. So what are some of the things that you do currently?
Well, when I do open house.
When you do open house.
And so I usually just reach out on social media.
Okay. Put it on social media.
HAR.
Okay.
Put on HAR. And of course the signs.
Okay, you put the signs out. So do you have like a database?
Yes and no. So
Please explain.
well,
What do you mean, yes and
Yes
no?
or no?
yes and no. I mean, I do have a database. However, it's not as organized as it should be.
Okay. So, if you were to organize your database, then that's another place that you can promote your open houses. Like if you get their email addresses and maybe put them in like a MailChimp or a Constant Contact, then that's another platform that you could use. And first of all, I would encourage you to organize your database because the database gives you the best leads. Your database will take care of you if you take care of it. It'll give you the higher quality of lead will come from your database. So I would really encourage you to organize it. And then again, the open house is just one extra reason for you to engage your database. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yes,
I have another question.
Okay.
So you were talking about a digital process for registration. So what exactly do you use?
Google Forms, girl. Google Forms is free, and it'll allow you.
It'll
Google
come on your
Forms.
phone, and then they have to touch your phone.
No, they can
Well,
pull it
you
up
can
on
do
their
it.
own phone.
Oh,
So
really?
what I would do is in my open houses, I would put a sign up with the link, and I would tell them, hey, as you guys come in, go ahead and click on that link on your phone and make sure you register for the open house. And they can pull their phone out and then go to the link. Now that the QR codes is back in business, we can put the QR code up there.
I like that.
Go ahead and take the QR code picture, and it'll automatically prompt it on their phone. They plug it in. I mean, you want to make it easy. Right? Because if it's too cumbersome, then they're gonna be like, nah. But if it's like, oh, I just take the picture and it loads and boom, I type the stuff in.
So Google Forms allow you to create your own form, and then you have a link to that form.
Yep.
I know. See,
Let's
you
go.
had to ask. This good.
Let's go.
That's
Let's
valuable.
go.
Ching,
Let's
ching.
go.
We're a little ching. We need a bell. Ching.
Let's go.
Good, helpful. Definitely helpful.
I was still working with Valerie, but she's taking a phone call. All right. All right. So let me talk to some of the people online. So Roniel, when you saw the open house training and you decided to attend, what was it that you would want to get out of it?
So out of this training, I got some do's and don'ts. I got some new information, and I got some reminders. I forgot about, like you said, the digital information and storing your stuff, and also the QR code. I was working on that, but I let it go. And then some of the do's and don'ts I'm gonna take with me. But I was thinking like, okay, even if I don't have an open house, I was gonna hijack some other people's open houses around the city.
He was gonna he's gonna
And just
confiscate
go
other
in and
people's open
look
houses.
and low key drop my card on the porch or something. I did get a lot out of the training though.
Okay, good. All right, Matilda, what was it about that you wanted to get? Like, what did you want to receive out of the training where you decided to attend today?
I was just, writing down as much as possible since I have no experience anywhere out on the field. So I've just been, jotting down all of the do and don'ts, and like when kids come over, you can use that as an excuse. And I'm actually thinking about asking someone if they have any like open house listings that I can like shadow and like watch them, and just like be in the back and just like see like how it like goes and stuff.
Well, absolutely, yeah. So pay attention to the group me, because I know Mark St. Rose just recently did one. I don't know if it was last weekend. He may be doing another one, but he just posted in the group me and in the private Facebook group that he was doing an open house. So next time you see that, then engage with him or whatever agent posting that they're doing one. Just engage with them and say, hey, look, I would like to come by. What date, what time? I want to shadow you and see what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still trying to get used to Facebook.
Oh yeah, I
the Facebook group. I was like, I don't know where to go.
But you have the group me. You're in the group me though, right? You're in the agent affiliate.
Yeah.
Okay, so typically, or matter of fact, just go in there now and say, hey, look, I'm an affiliate member. I want to shadow somebody who's doing an open house. Anybody doing an open house?
All right.
Come back with. All right.
And also, Roniel, that's what I was going to mention. So that when I sent out in our group me, the who wants to do an open house, I actually showed that agent's house, And I noticed that she had 7 listings, and we talking about 400K and above. And so I asked her, how is she, is she able to do open houses and get all that done? She has a team of none, I guess. So that's why, and everyone was asking me what day. Well, I just want to know who's interested, because I'm out here marketing myself to do open houses, and it's just me. So sometimes I'm going to need some help doing that part too, just to look. Sometimes we got to look bigger than we are. Mm-hmm. And I'm we always a team. So that's what.
Absolutely. Especially if it's the weekend.
Say it again.
Yes, I'm very open to do it, especially if it's the weekend. I'm very open to doing open houses.
Oh, and you know what else, y'all? I was gonna tell y'all with builders. Mm-hmm. If you can build a rapport with a builder, and I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, and it's gonna take time, because everybody has to build up a trust in you, because they have like 5 realtors that come see them a day. So you bring a cup, you bring a toothbrush or whatever you bring in to give to them, they may or may not remember you, but you want to let them know what all you can do. So we always trying to sell them on our value. And some builders will allow you to open their model homes from 12 to 1 every day, but you have to build up to that. But there is a possibility out there. So don't sleep on the builders too. Don't just look at open houses for resales. Yeah. You have new construction as well. When you go to a builder, I'm available. Some people want to take a break. They may be sitting back in their office because they're not allowed to have you in that property by yourself, but they will allow you. And that's what T and I are going to talk to a builder. We're supposed to go today, but we're going to go next week, because we're going to ask them, can we host their one of their models? Yeah. So if you have a builder that has multiple models in a community, they will be in one of the models, and then they'll allow you to promote that one model and host the open house in there. Yeah. And it could be in the middle of the day, or it could be on the weekend.
Yeah. Again, and as well as some of the inventory homes, they may have inventory homes that are sitting that haven't sold, or they may even be under contract, and that builder will still be okay with you doing an open house, because what it does for them, it gives them additional exposure. Like once you determine what's important for, like what's in it for me, like once you take that with you everywhere you go, and you be intentional about asking that question of what's in it for them, then you're going to find a lot more success in getting things done that you want to get done. So if you say, hey, look, I want to go to this builder and I want to do an open house, why would he let me do that? Then you start thinking of the reasons of why he would let you do it. And then you articulate that to them. You increase your chances of them saying, yes, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So I would highly recommend you take advantage of that opportunity of getting with the builders, seeing who has inventory, seeing who has models, and asking if you could hold their houses open and market their properties for them.
While you there, check
what would be some of the benefits that we would tell him to allow us to do that? I mean, or say to him.
Exposure.
So, yeah, they get additional exposure. They get additional marketing.
Like the inventory homes, if they've been sitting there for a minute, they want to get rid of those.
Yeah, and the way that you bring a builder or buyer is that the bait is the property. So if they let you take their property and then you promote their property to your people, to your network, then you'll be able to attract a buyer, and you'll be able to bring a buyer to their community. So that's what they want. So it's like
oh, okay.
Yeah. So with the builder, it's just they want to know if you understand that, because they already know. They know the benefit of why they would let a realtor market their property. They just want to know if you know, or if you're just over here trying to trick them into getting their listing.
And I had a sales agent of a builder, was my Facebook friend, and he was watching me promote other properties. And so when I went and finally met him, he said, yeah, I saw you promoting. And that's what I went to my boss and told him. She has a little bit of a following. And I actually went to ask him, could I list? Mm-hmm. I asked him, could I list it, not just do their open houses? But that was how I sold it, is, they actually knew me from social media already that I was promoting.
So yeah, This is a big gem that I want you all to take, and it took me a while to figure it out. When you're trying to attract buyers, what attracts buyers are properties. That's it. Like the reason that Zillow is as big as it is because all it did was take all the properties that agents had and put them on one website across the United States, and then it drew all of the buyers to them. And that's why they've blown up the way that they've blown up. HAR.com uses the same concept. Realtor.com uses the same concept. Properties is what attracts buyers. So if that's the case, then you use the same concept. You don't have to be the listing agent to be able to leverage the properties that are for sale and put them out there. you can be perceived in the eyes of a buyer as a person that they need to be attached or connected to by the way that you present inventory and you present properties. You know, one of the things that I heard a long time ago was that the person that controls the inventory, the person that controls the property or controls the inventory, the person that controls the inventory is the one that controls the market. And that's true. If there are no properties for sale in the market, the buyers can't do nothing, right? But you know, vice versa, if there are no buyers in the market, then the sellers can't do nothing. But what's the odds of that? Unless you have a situation like we had in 2009, and it wasn't that the buyers weren't in the market, they were just afraid. Well, once you remove fear out of any market, the person that has the product or the inventory, the person that controls that is the one that controls the market. So they're builders, there are other realtors. There's plenty of opportunity if you guys are willing to put in the work and the energy to go out there and showcase other people's properties and use it and leverage it until you get to the point to where you do have your own listings. And then you can do the same stuff that you're doing for other people for your listings to help build your business. So I'd highly encourage you to approach building your business through the component of showcasing and leveraging the listings that are for sale to as many people as possible to acquire your buyers. Yep. So I was still talking to you about what were you doing to promote your open houses. So we talked about the database. Do you let the neighborhood know?
No.
Okay, so that's another thing you might want to start doing.
Letting the neighborhood know.
Yeah.
What would you suggest? How would you suggest I do that? Walk?
What are you comfortable with? Because that's all I like to ask. Like, what you comfortable with? You comfortable with knocking, or you comfortable with putting something on people's doors? Like, are you comfortable engaging?
Now, see, I have done that before.
Yeah.
Where I would invest in the hangers, door hangers.
For open house?
For open house.
Okay.
I've done that in the past.
Did that work?
No.
Okay, because you need to knock on the door. Well, how many did you put out though?
Knock on the door.
Well, no, I'm not gonna say that. How many did you put out? How many door hangers did you put out?
Roughly 50.
It's not enough. You got to put out, and even if you go knock on doors, you need to knock on about 300. Yeah, I know.
I'm just not gonna knock on
It's the numbers game. Well, hire somebody, girl.
Hire somebody.
Get you. Look, you can be one of these mentors. Get your mentee, man. Mentee go out there with you.
A mentee. I would not make somebody knock on 300 doors.
So you know what? I think what makes it a lot easier. What makes it a lot easier to go and ask people to do stuff is having a reason for them to go do it, like giving them a reason. So I mentioned the whole food truck thing. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're doing an open house and you did convince a food truck to come and they're offering discounts to the neighbors, so now when you go knock on their door, it's like you have something of value to tell the people. Okay. You don't feel as apprehensive about doing it. So I would say think of something creative to where when you go knock on the door, you're bringing something of value to them, and they'll be more open to listen. It'll make you feel better about it. Mm-hmm. So now it's like, I just want to share all of this with you.
That's why you ask open-ended questions, so you can have things to bring to them. You ask open-ended questions.
Absolutely.
Before you close, though, I do
this yours.
Before you close. Okay, so ladies, queens, and everybody, we never talked about safety of open houses. That is so important. So anybody, I know you guys have concerns, but I'm gonna address one of the things that I do with open houses is I bring someone with me possibly. If the open house is vacant, say it's a 3-story tri-level and you're all the way up at the top or the second floor, I lock the door. I don't allow, and then I position myself so I can see people coming to the door, and then I can determine if I want to open the door. Because sometimes you'll see somebody walk down the sidewalk and then they'll see your sign and they decide to just take a right into your door, and you're like, no, this is not the person I want to let in. So you don't want to have your door unlocked. And sometimes even on a 1-story, I'll lock the door. It's no harm in locking the door. The biggest thing that you'll have to do is position your chair if it's vacant, or just sit somewhere where you can see people pulling up, looking like they're coming to look at properties. They're not just roaming the neighborhood, and just determine if you want to open the door or not.
Yeah, and I think it's a great idea to try to partner with somebody. Like, try to get somebody to go there with you, so you're not just there by yourself, because you may get in a situation where you are engaging with clients or somebody else, and then there's a chance for somebody to come in there that you're not aware of. So, you know, I know you're not always going to be able to have somebody to partner with you, but if you can, and if you're in control of it, you may want to try to identify somebody and y'all can tag team. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a realtor. Like maybe you got a family member, you got a cousin, a sister, a daughter, but just maybe bring somebody else.
And they sit in the car in 2 hours to a teenager or whatever. It's nothing. It's really nothing. They gonna do the same 2 hours at home that they gonna do right there on in the car on the phone.
Yeah, you just want to have an extra set of eyes to be vigilant with you out there. All right, well, you know, we got a couple of more things wrapping up for the week. You know, we have our meet the broker on tomorrow, so that's just an opportunity. If you know anybody that's in the process of getting their license, or maybe somebody's with a brokerage firm and they're considering making a change, and you know, so they want to have an opportunity to speak to our leadership, so we can so they can learn a little bit more about what we have to offer. We're doing that on tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And then we're also doing our Side Hustle Fridays. I'm gonna let Lisa talk about Side Hustle Fridays because she gets so super excited about it.
Yes,
I think she does the best of selling it.
Side Hustle Fridays.
So tell them about Side Hustle Fridays. That's coming up this Friday.
So we know that everybody has, you know, other things that they do, full-time, part-time, whatever, side hustle. So if you have any type of maybe selling energy, trading stocks. I have an herbal business. And we have some people that own confection shops. We have people who own daiquiri shops. Mm-hmm. So we all get together on Friday. We have a very, very crafty. Jess has different ideas. She's an artist. She's a musician. She got beats. I mean, you just never know. She made Michael a theme song, little entourage music. I want one. I don't even know why, but I want one. Look, I like it. I'm gonna get one. You never know when you need some music. So, you know, we have different people with different talents, and our broker allows us to display those talents, because in turn, that can turn into us generating sales and business in so many different ways. You never know if you find somebody, one of your agents that want to trade, and then that agent's so appreciative that they, you know, they might have a client or a cousin or somebody is willing to buy, and they may not even, they may not be an agent. This is also, we can also take our affiliates. Our affiliates can come and attend as well. Yep. So say you're an affiliate and you come in and you're not quite a realtor, but you find out that someone else is a realtor there, you can utilize them and they can utilize you. So just in case you ever need a daiquiri or something, not at an open house, but you know what I mean, y'all. If you ever need some daiquiris, I know. Hey, they have champagne. I don't know why the daiquiris wouldn't work. So yeah, you never know. So we do have someone that owns a whole daiquiri shop, you know, and that looks good to your clients if you can go in there, get in the VIP section, because one of your fellow family members have a whole daiquiri shop that you can go into and impress some of your out-of-town clients. You never know.
That's right. So yes.
I do have a question. For the Side Hustle Fridays, like lately I've been painting pictures of like requests from people for Valentine's Day, and even like people that wanted like paintings of their dogs or something. Like I'm an affiliate. I don't know if that's okay. Like if
it's
I
okay.
Just, like, bring
you already got a client.
Yes, it's definitely okay.
Okay.
That's what that platform is about. And Shadra, this isn't just for Brooks and Davis realtors. Any realtor, any licensed realtor can come. If they got a side hustle, they have something else that they sell, or a product or a service, then we want to create this marketplace and this dynamic for us to share that with one another. So you're more than welcome as well. So that's going to be on this Friday at 5 o'clock, right?
Yes,
at our coaching and training center.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Awesome. Yes, please, Maddie, come in and show us your talents as well. For Valentine's Day, we have packages. We have Margaret. We have Mary Kay. Just different things. You might have ideas for gift bags for your clients for Valentine's Day. You just never know. Mm-hmm. And so you also have a business. I think Ranielle gone?
Yeah, she had to leave.
Okay, so Ranielle, we had talked about, going into property management, and we have other agents that do property management and not property management. What is it? Yeah, property management. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then just what is your business called?
Repair.
Credit repair. That's what I'm trying to think. Credit repair, property management,
commercial lending.
Commercial lending.
Okay. I'm the assistant
to the lender. Commercial assistant to the lender.
but utilizable, very much so.
Absolutely.
Also, would I be able to bring somebody with me?
Sure.
Even if they're not like an agent or affiliate.
Just because you bringing them, Maddie, but don't be bringing your whole squad. Don't be coming in.
I know. All right. I just wanted to bring someone that was interested in real estate.
Oh yeah,
Well,
absolutely. We
bring
definitely
them to
want
meet the
to.
broker too.
Yeah, meet the broker. I think would be a even better for them if they're just interested in.
Yeah, I went ahead and sent him the link to RSVP for meeting a broker.
Okay, perfect. All right, and then one last thing, Shadra, I don't think I asked you the question, but when you came on as it related to this training, what was it that you were hoping to achieve out of participating in it?
Honestly, I'm just a sponge. I just so happened to see the comment in the Facebook post, I think, that said that, or no, I think I saw like you guys had went live or something like that. And I saw the notification, then I saw the Zoom link in the comments. So I was like, well, let me just get on there and see. So I feel like it's always good to kind of hear other people's perspectives, as well as, you know, especially since open houses, I know it's something that I'm weak in. The more I hear other people talk about it and their experiences, the more I learn. So honestly, I'm just like a human sponge. I just want to take it all in. But I did want to say something else. So Matilda was saying how, you know, she wanted to possibly go and visit other agents, open houses. I did the exact same thing. I think before I even did an open house, I did like all these trainings, and then I went to like 2 or 3 other JPAR agents, which is my brokerage. I went to like 2 or 3 of their open houses, and then I even went to like 2 open houses, you know, that weren't even from my brokerage, you know, and I introduced myself to the agent, just letting them know I was a new agent, and they were all open to that and was like, oh yeah, you know, and they were like, you know, this is what I normally do. And, you know, it was just nice to kind of get that experience. So I wanted to tell her that because I kind of was in the same boat that she was at. And then as well, there was another girl, you guys were just talking about like the Google Forms. I literally just took a training on that like last week and learned about that. Even though like we have, I have access to KV Core. So technically I don't really need that because I can use, instead of using a Google form as my landing page, I can use like one of their landing pages. But within Google Pages, not only can you like use that as your open house sign in Google Forms, there's a way to where like whenever they sign in there via that Google form, it automatically populates to like an Excel document. So it's like an easy way to get it all to your CRM. So that's something to keep in mind as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's great feedback, Shadra. We definitely appreciate you sharing that with us. All right. Well, that's all we have, man. Hopefully, clearly you all got something out of it because y'all was able to articulate. We've told you about what we have coming up. We're going to have another week of events next week as well. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to go out on Friday, our slate of events. And then that's pretty much it.
So next month, February, we got a series. We got a series going with training. So we got inspection trainings coming up. We got mortgage training. We got title trainings coming up. So y'all get your questions together. Everything you need to know, we want you to definitely bombard them with all the questions you have.
That's right. All right. Well, y'all enjoy y'all Wednesday, and we'll be talking to you tomorrow for y'all that are coming to the Meet the Broker.
All right. Peace and love.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right.